So officially, this is going to be the first video that I record in 2022, so I might as well kick it off the right way, of course, by saying Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully you guys had a very fun, if you were out there with friends and family and those that you love on New Year's Eve, and that you took the time over the weekend to reflect on 2021 and prepare for 2022. Personally, I'm feeling like 2022 is going to be one hell of a great year, but I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really have any kind of foundational evidence as to back up my claim. I'm just unreasonably optimistic about the prospects of 2022, and hopefully you guys partake in such, because hey, if we just go at it with just a really negative disposition, it's not going to get that much better. So you know what, hey, as much as the talk normally around here centers around just really dire circumstances, normally approach them with just a general level of, well, levity, for a lack of a better term, trying to look for the more positive side of this shit. But not everybody else is out there doing the same shit. They're just trying to go out there and bait clicks and fucking try to get you hooked in a cycle of rage. And if you rage at this shit, well, there's more important things in life. So let's just hope 2022 is a great year for everyone out there. Unfortunately, it's kind of starting off like a little bit of a bitch, hey? I don't know where you guys are at right now. Obviously, I look at the analytics and I see that there's a bunch of people from a bunch of different countries watching this content, which is very interesting, and it's really humbling to see. But more about personal stuff, because this video almost wasn't on YouTube today, but more on that as we have a little bit more of a spicy topic in the second video. This is just, of course, trudging along, because this is going to be the third fucking year in a row where we have to deal with this dumb dog shit. But yeah, 2022, okay? Starting off with a bit of a bang. I've been seeing this as well, okay? A lot of cold and a lot of snow, and this isn't going to be central to the video itself. I just wanted to make note of it, mostly because, yeah, it's supposed to be continuing for a couple of days, and since the new year itself has been rung in, I haven't seen the sun. I haven't seen anything, and this has been for the past 3 weeks or so. I haven't seen anything above -30 outside. It's been dismal, it's been dark, and I hope that it fucking ends soon. And especially, like, I'm up here in northern Alberta, okay? We are close to the west coast of the United States, close-ish, but way up in the fucking northern reaches of things, all things considered. Not quite in the Arctic Circle, but not outside of a stone's throw away. But where it's getting hit hard in the United States right now is all up the eastern seaboard, and hopefully everybody's making it out fine there. But let's just dive a little bit into this. The first storm of the new year brought snow on January 3rd to multiple states in the eastern United States and left hundreds of thousands of people without power. Fuck. Nearly 400,000 households in Virginia lost power as of 12:25 p.m. Oh, Jesus. According to Power Outage US, another 152,000 households in North Carolina and more than 200,000 across Maryland, Georgia, and South Carolina are without electricity. As of midday, more than a half foot of snow was dumped in portions of Alabama, Tennessee, West Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Virginia, North Carolina, according to the National Weather Services. Highest total was reported of 11 inches in Swiss, North Carolina, about 28 miles northeast of Asheville. Yeah, they don't normally get that much snow, so hopefully we can restore that power quickly. Or, you know what, hey, Biden can activate FEMA if he even knows what's going on. He's apparently made it back to Washington, and he was greeted with a similar amount of snow, because, yeah, they're in the same area. They're right in that Maryland, Virginia little carve out, so they're going to be dealing with a lot of it as well. But snow day for Biden's just like every other day of his term so far. He doesn't really have to do much, but thankfully he was able to make it back to Washington. Okay, not a lot of people out there were. Okay, I've seen thousands of different flights get canceled, thousands more getting delayed, and some of it's over the weather, but a lot of it, and this is how we're going to transition into this, is over these stupid fucking Coof mandates and the different precautions that are out there for the tepid Omicron. Okay, is there any other better way to describe it? And it's like it could be a cough, but it could manifest as a runny nose. It's like, what are we doing here anymore? Fuck's sakes. The airline industry took a further pummeling over the busy New Year's Day weekend. Couldn't you just say the New Year weekend? Like, come on now. Over 4,000 flights have been canceled on January 2nd alone. more than half the total, numbering 2,377 in the United States alone. Fuck's sakes. More than 11,200 flights on Sunday were delayed worldwide, according to FlightAware.com, a site that collects commercial air traffic data. The delays came during the biggest one of the biggest travel periods of the season throughout the world. Yeah, and especially the way that the holidays all lined up this year with, what was it? Yeah, Christmas Eve was a Friday, and then Christmas Day proper was the Saturday, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day following the same pattern. So again, next year is going to be the exact same situation, but hopefully this time around we're fucking done. But something we're going to be talking about a little bit later. A bunch of the different states, there's some states that are like, yeah, no more emergency powers, no more emergency powers. I think we're good. I think we can move on. And then you have other states that are just locking down even harder. Okay, I bet you can probably figure out political affiliation based on that alone, and you wouldn't be wrong. But back on target here. The weekend ended a disastrous holiday season with more than 13,000 U.S. flights canceled from Christmas Eve through New Year's Day. Staffing shortages, adverse winter conditions, and a surge of coronavirus cases caused by the Omicron variant continue to disrupt travel. Meanwhile, the spread of the Omicron variant has put a damper on New Year's festivities. Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, I was going to mention this up at the top, but you just got carried along there. But yeah, I don't really know what any of the celebrations looked like because I was falling asleep. I fell asleep at like 11 o'clock, and I woke up at, what was the exact time, 12:26, to a couple of different Happy New Year messages. New Year's Eve is not a big thing for me, and yeah, the fact of the matter is a lot of the celebrations, even just around here, I think most of them are called off at the different bars, but I don't really, monitor those situations anyways. So yeah, people just kind of hung out with their friends anyways. That's at their own homes. That's kind of what I was hearing anyways. But yeah, so everybody could kind of anticipate that anyways, because airlines have been, well, especially Southwest, and we cataloged that towards the end of the year when all of that stuff was going on anyways. Like, you could have seen this stuff happening from a fucking mile away, okay? Airlines, around the holiday season, it starts to pick up. It started into Thanksgiving, and then it just kind of crescendoed right there with New Year's Eve and New Year's weekend. People trying to get home in order to, get the kids to school on Monday, go back to work, start off 2022 with a bang, and 2022 is kind of shaken up at the beginning. At least it's looking a lot like 2020 and 2021 again, because a lot of schools are going virtual classes. How long will it be before there's more stay-at-home orders for workplaces in these blue states? Because that's where this shit is happening, okay? And a lot of the more moderate red states, they're just like, yeah, okay, cool. We're just going to go ahead and deal with this, but can't control what everybody else does. That's totally up to them. So schools across the United States see last-minute closures over COVID-19 staffing problems. Schools across the United States over the weekend announced last-minute closures because of the spread of COVID-19. And I run past, like 3 schools in the morning when I'm out on a run, and I don't know if they were taking this week off as well for school. So it's like, I don't have a kid. I don't know any kids, and I don't really know the schedule that's out there. But I didn't see any schools open today, so I don't know if they're in virtual learning right now, but it highly well could be, because Canada is cucked as a motherfucker. You'd think our Prime Minister is Jack Murphy. In Massachusetts, more than a dozen school districts were closed or had delayed opening on January 3rd, with some officials citing the spread of the Coof and others because of snowfall. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Public School announced, okay, Massachusetts and snowfall, really? Yeah, like, this isn't Bama, okay? This isn't places that aren't accustomed to just getting fucking walloped by a nor'easter or a gigantic dump of snow like in fucking Colorado. Like, you guys know, okay, you can deal with this shit. This is just trying to cover for the fact that, oh yeah, maybe our restrictions are kind of backfiring on us. Meanwhile, yeah, Pittsburgh Public Schools announced the district is shuttering 12 schools due to staffing shortages caused by the Coof. Huh. Some teachers not wanting to get the jab? Interesting. An infectious disease expert who was interviewed by the local station said that it is inevitable that we're going to see cases in school, but stipulated that closures can't be tolerated. Yeah, but you can't have one without the other. Fucking sucks to suck. So what are they doing in response? Well, taking talking points from fucking heads of big pharma, okay? These dumb motherfuckers out here, okay? These people who are in charge, the science followers, right? They're taking their talking points from the fucking head of Pfizer. Cloth masks don't provide much protection against the coof. Okay, cool. So we went from, okay, you remember Fauci in the early days, what his stance was, and then, okay, cool. And then just, yeah, cut up a t-shirt and wear that, okay? I remember the directions, and you know what, if you went back in the Wayback Machine, you can probably find all of that stuff on at least Health Canada's website, where you can make your own at-home mask, right? And went to masks for a while, and then we dropped masks, and then more information about masks and high temperature washing machines are needed in order for some masks to be a little bit more effective, and then dropping the mandates, and then reinstituting the mandates because they worked so well the first time. And then it was what, triple masking, quadruple masking, and then now only surgical and N95 masks are going to be working. What the fuck is going on? Almost like they don't know what the fuck to do. It's almost like this shit is so complicated, it should just be an individual decision and choice. Imagine that. Something that was probably known for a very long time, but there's no money in that. Anyways, Pfizer board member Scott Gottlieb said that cloth masks don't provide much protection against the Omicron variant. Cool, what's so different about the Omicron variant? It sounds scarier? Cool. Gottlieb, former FDA commissioner, said scientists understand the coof is transmitted via airborne particles. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for really clearing that up. Cloth face coverings aren't very effective at stopping these particles as opposed to transmission via droplets. Like, how phlegmy and how wet do people talk that people are projecting out their fucking droplets, okay? It's very interesting. Cloth masks aren't going to provide a lot of protection. That's the bottom line. No, it's not nearly that cool. When he was on CBS's Face the Nation, whatever. This is an airborne illness. We now understand that. Oh, okay, cool. What is it? Hiding behind the clouds and all that kind of fucking goofy shit. Whatever. And cloth masks aren't going to protect you from the virus that spreads through airborne transmission. It could better protect through droplet transmission, something like the flu, but not something like this coronavirus. Oh no, that's terrible. So, is anybody heeding these calls? Well, of course, they'll leave it up to fucking LA. LA County teachers now have to wear high quality masks. Oh, okay, cool. Like diving bells? I'm just waiting for the hazmat suits, so that'll be fun. Teachers in Los Angeles County will be required to wear high-grade masks while in class, while staff and students will be required to wear masks outdoors in crowded spaces under new rules. Yep, they're really taking this to heart, okay? Like, we heard this, that was when the CDC had that rough day when they just started admitting a whole bunch of goofy shit. You can go back, I think last week or the week before, and to see that, and boy, that was fun. But yeah, they were talking about how masks are, you know what, hey, a little bit iffy to say the least, but LA, man, yep, they just can't step on your neck hard enough. This rule, the rule, which applies to both public and private schools in the country, oh yeah, cool, was implemented, in the county, sorry, not country, was implemented as students returned from their winter break, according to the updated guidance for Los Angeles County Public Health Department. Good luck trying to enforce that in private schools, because you don't own that area, you don't fund that area, so have fun with that. During this surge, given the spread of a more infectious strain of the virus, again, prove it. Can you provide any receipts? Just because you keep saying it doesn't mean it's true. Lapsus can lead to explosive transmission. It can, but has it? No. Okay. Public Health Director Barbara Ferrer, again, wrote in a January 2nd statement, well-fitting and high-quality masks are an essential layer of protection. Sure it is. When people are in close contact with others, especially when indoors or in outdoor crowded spaces. Okay, cool. Now we're just, totally fucking giving up on the whole science argument, and now we're just going to start wearing masks all the time, everywhere. I hope you wear them in the shower when you're just out for a swim or having a bath. The mask guidance was updated after a surge of coof infections, which are blamed on the spread of the Omicron and Delta coronavirus variants. Yeah, after they had to readjust the Omicron numbers. It's like, oh no, it's like 70-some%. Actually, it's like 20. Oh, okay. Delta, though, because remember that one was actually scary, and it actually didn't look anything like the common cold. It just looked like, oh, right, fuck. People are eventually going to have to reconcile with the fact that we've known about this shit for 3 fucking years at this point, and what has been the most deadly manifestation of this, okay? The initial wave where old people were getting killed off by Cuomo and Whitmer and Wolf and Murphy and Trudeau. Okay, but what about for the general population? Oh, okay, like fraction of a percentage of the general population who gets infected actually ends up taking a dirt nap. Right, cool. That's why we need to, okay, go back and enforce these mandates by unleashing the hounds. Okay, literally, this says January 2nd, 2022. Not January 2nd, 2052, because now they're just sicking the dogs. Unfucking believable. Thousands of people, and to be fair, this is in the Netherlands, okay? They could just be drug enforcement dogs, and they just, you know what, hey, got let loose on the public, and just a weird coincidence. The capital of Amsterdam, gathered Sunday to demonstrate against Dutch government's Coof measures before the police crackdown. It came after Amsterdam Mayor Femke Hazelem, whatever, issued an emergency ordinance giving more police, to clear the central museum square after the protesters violated the city's ban on public gatherings. Cool. I have no idea what Dutch constitution looks like, or whatever they call their version of it, their Bill of Rights. I don't know if they have a right to assembly or not, but apparently not now, because it's an emergency. Protesters also walked along the main thoroughfare in the capital city, playing music and holding yellow umbrellas as a sign of the opposition to the government restrictions. They sounded terrifying. Some participants had a banner that said "Less repression, more care," while a group in white masks and white overalls held up a sign reading, "It's not about a virus, it's about control," and another held up a Trump 2024 flag. Oh, you love to see it. Photos and video footage, yeah, are showing, you know, dog attacks, because that's a thing that happens now. What about the experts though? Okay, cool. So you have your elected officials out there running around. You have your heads of fucking pharmaceutical agencies, which a few years ago, they were just the big bads, but now they're the ones who are looking out for all of our safety. Sure they are. What about Fauci? Okay, he was making the rounds on Sunday. Okay, he had to get out there. Okay, yeah, he lamented the fact that, you know what, he had to wait a couple of extra days to get on his new shows, because god damn it, he has to get his face out there. He has to earn that $400,000 fucking dollars. Yeah, and he also had a very uncomfortable admission as well. It was something that was alluded to as well by his counterpart over at the CDC, when she said that, yeah, a lot of children that are actually in hospital are there for other reasons. And Fauci had to come out and kind of reaffirm that by saying, yeah, hospitals are just overcounting how many kids are in there with the Coof. Huh, imagine that. White House advisor Fauci said the hospitals are now overcounting cases, children, because they're automatically tested when they're admitted, echoing a narrative that has been repeated by some skeptics for months. Yep. Hopefully that he could just kind of, you know, fold up that message and then just kind of slip it under the door and nobody would notice. Well, several news outlets reported that hospitalizations among children with the Coof have increased in recent days. Center for Disease Control and Prevention Director Walensky said in a separate interview that most children are not being hospitalized because of the virus. That's what we talked about before. See the previous video. When asked, though during an MSNBC interview about the rise in hospitalizations, Fauci said, quantitatively, we're having so many more people, including children, who are getting infected. Even though hospitalizations among children is much, much lower on a percentage basis than hospitalizations for adults, which are still low, especially with this fucking variant. Just the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice. Particularly elderly individuals like me, said Fauci on December 29th. That was, oh, come on, that was last year. Let's get to the good stuff. If a child goes to the hospital, they're automatically tested for the Coof. Yeah, we know. And if they get counted as a COVID hospitalized individual. What? I'm just going to run that back again, because that just seems so fucking whack that I can hardly believe that. If a child goes in the hospital, they automatically get tested for the Coof, and they get counted as a COVID hospitalized individual. Without a positive test, they just immediately get counted as a COVID hospitalized individual just because they're tested. Yeah. Okay. When, in fact, they go in for a broken leg or appendicitis or something like that. So it's overcounting the number of children who are, quote, hospitalized with COVID as opposed to being, or as opposed to because of COVID. I'm so flustered because it's just fucking insanity. Okay. Obviously. Maybe that's taken out of context, right? Maybe it's just totally fucking whack. And you know what? Hey, you should feel thankful because there's alternative methods that are out there. That a UK nurse reportedly recovers from the Coof Coma. She was in a coma from the Coof after receiving Viagra. What the fuck? Okay. Like this double jabbed up, okay, fully vaccinated nurse in the UK, Monica Alameda, 37 years old, spent 28 days in a coma after contracting the Coof. Perfectly healthy individual. She was 72 hours away from her ventilator being turned off when she was saved by a large dose of Viagra. You can't use it for verboten I word, but you can start pumping the fucking veins full of Viagra. Okay, I'm not necessarily upset of that, but and I'm glad that alternatives are being discovered, and you know what, I'm glad that this very healthy individual was able to recover. But I guess it kind of makes sense why they just allow alternative methods like Viagra to be used, because what's the little name that's stamped on the front of that little blue pill? Follow the money. But yeah, I'll link to this article if you'd like. But the 2021 in recap, 200 million vaccinated, 450 million dead, or 450,000 dead. Sorry, had a Biden moment there for a second. It's not that bad, but that was 2021 with everything on the table. All the information was known. What are we doing at this point? We're just kind of shuffling the deck chairs on the deck at the Titanic. Is like everybody knows what the fuck is going on. You know what the vaccines do, okay? You know what hasn't worked. You know what never worked. You know what continues to not work. But yet these fucking morons that are in charge keep doubling down on what is fucking there. Okay? Talk to your doctor, okay? And make your own health decisions. Stop listening to these motherfuckers in these ivory towers who don't give a fuck about you. They're just worried about their own pocketbooks. I still think that all of this shit is probably going to wrap up by probably about the summer. Okay, they're going to have a real tenuous grasp after Omicron runs through, because they're already talking, and it's like, okay, we're going to be in the throes of this for a month. Yeah, imagine that. Take a look at what was happening in South Africa. It's following the same fucking pattern, and I'm not hearing rumblings about any other variants that are out there, so I don't know if this is going to be the last one that's going to catch a name or any fun shit like that, but I don't know what they're going to go to after this. What are they going to do? Try to redrudge up fucking Delta? Listen, it's already gone. It's done. It's dusted. Stop it, okay? Fucking running this stuff back like the WWE, and it's a fucking former title holder from the mid-90s. Like, fuck off already. Here comes the Goldberg variant. Nobody gives a shit at this point. 2022 is the year we all fight back, and that's why I'm looking extremely forward to this shit. But because of what's happening in 2022, especially in November of the year, I don't want to look too far forward to that, but I'm really looking forward to that. Anyways, I don't want to waste any special time. I just want to get through the winter, get through all of the snow, get through all of this cold, and then enjoy a very prosperous spring and summer season. But we got to get ready for the fall, okay? We got to get ready for next year's winter. And in order to do that, we have to figure out what went wrong in the previous election cycles. And some funny shit's been found out in Texas, and we're going to take a look at that real quick. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.